Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where you might notice things are perhaps a little different than you might have expected. We've burned a little bit extra Delta V, and our periapsis isn't quite where you thought it would be. So, MechJeb messed up in its execution after I cut. Well, I cut and then I noticed it. We were coming in and clipping the planet on this side, so I just made a small manual adjustment with a retrograde burn to go this way, and way overshot and had to correct it a bunch of times because we were so far out, and it's fine. It's fine. This is where we're at now. We're going to have about a 150 kilometer orbit around Elu. So it will be fine. It'll take 1341.6 meters per second. Excellent. And that'll be happening here in about 150 days. We are, as you can see, almost out to Elu. In fact, we're currently beyond the orbit of Elu, and we're going to be kind of dropping into the gravity well here pretty soon. So let's go ahead and come on in here. And we're coming in this direction. MechJeb was also having us going this direction, which, as you can see, is against the orbit, which would be going this way, which I really didn't want to be doing. I want to be landing with the orbit, ideally. So let's just come on in here. We are now in the gravity well, and we are currently 3 days away from our braking burn. Let's go ahead and do a gravity scan and start transmitting that. Now, apparently that uploaded instantly. That's interesting. What do we got for energy flow from our Gigantors? Low is the answer. It is a low energy flow. Oh, hello, Elu. Aren't you looking dapper today? I guess. He needs a top hat and a monocle. Clearly that should be a mod. Okay, let's go ahead and physics warp this burn, because we need to do a large amount of braking here. As you can see, it started it quite early because it's going to be a 7-minute burn to get this brake done. But that is just fine. We have plenty of Delta V in the tank for this. Our inclination is coming in at about 8 degrees. We're not equatorial, but that's okay. It gives us a few options on where to land. Realistically, I'm not sure where I want to land. I'm not sure it matters. Oh, we missed a gravity scan. I was not paying attention. Okay, let's go ahead and turn on the audio alert for when we switch into a different biome, so that way I'm actually kind of paying attention. That'd be nice. I don't know what all biomes there are. Hello, ice canyons. Okay, that's Midlands. I missed the ice canyons. Unfortunate. I was not quick enough. That's 4x time acceleration for you. Okay, so we have about 3 minutes left in this burn. We are still over the Midlands. Hey, Babbage Patch. Excellent. Transmit that. Yep, I'm well aware that it's not going to transmit anytime soon. We don't have the power. The lack of batteries is really kind of hurting us right now. But it's okay. It's almost transmit. Transmit? It is now transmitted. There we go. We're still over the Babbage Patch. That's interesting. And this is in-space high. What is the in-space low altitude? Below 60. Okay, that's probably going to be our next target, and then we'll do an orbit down below 60. Probably right at about 50. But we have now braked. Excellent. So at the periapsis, I'm just going to do a MechJeb maneuver to change our apoapsis. Or actually, I'm not going to do a MechJeb maneuver. MechJeb doesn't like to do this kind of maneuver. I'm going to do it manually. So I'm going to go ahead and do a retrograde burn right here. And we're going to lower this periapsis down to about just over 50 kilometers. Maybe 52 kilometers. 51 kilometers? Yeah, we'll go with 51 kilometers. I just want to be over 50 because that's a warp break point, and we can be anywhere below 60. So we'll go ahead and go for 51 and 3 meters. Execute next node. Excellent. 36.5 meters per second in 20 minutes. It shouldn't take very long at all. And we should be able to get ourselves some really nice data here before we go on our descent. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the brakes action group before I forget, And also autosave, because as usual with a rover, I'm really paranoid. I don't know why, I just am. Okay, so that's Midlands there. That's fine. And let's go ahead and get this burn done. That should not take long in the slightest. Oh, Fragipan. Okay, go ahead and transmit that. That got us 20%. Nice. This thing really could use more batteries. In retrospect, good old Captain Hindsight, though. Okay, so let's go ahead and circularize at the next periapsis. And we will create and execute. Yep, that looks perfect. Well done, MechJeb. Okay, how goes our transmission? Besides slowly. I realize it goes slowly. We are a third done. Fantastic. Look how far away the sun is. That's ridiculous. It's really, really dark here. We can also send out these photovoltaic panels. SAS disengaged? That's a little weird. Oh. In space near. Excellent. Transmit that. Transmit this. Okay. And then once we get this burn done, we're just going to do an orbit around and see what all we can find. It shouldn't take long at all. This is not a very large body, so orbits should not be lengthy. And let's just go ahead and circularize this on up. Apoapsis height is looking good. Excellent. In space near ice canyons. We'll do an atmospheric pressure scan here. There we go. We're not going to do a mystery goo observation here. We will go ahead and do a gravity scan. And we are currently limited primarily by our electric charge. I realize it's unlikely... There we go. I realize it's unlikely to be able to do too much, but I'll just go ahead and get these panels out and see if they can actually get any energy flow at all. They get a little bit, so that's something. Okay, so let's go ahead and... 10%. Oh my. Okay, we may have to do a couple of orbits. Okay, we are still not having enough electric charge to have this happen. Okay, there we go. Midlands. We'll do a gravity scan here, and we will transmit that. And in the meantime, we will continue to warp, and we'll get data back ASAP. Yep. There's gonna be problems. Highlands. Transmit that. There we go. There's the Highlands transmitted. Babbage patch. This is going to be extremely problematic, because all we have here is our RTG. That's going to be quite a big problem. But very soon, our solar panels will come back online. Come on. There we go. Okay. Data is now uploaded. And let's get ourselves another piece of data. Hello, Fragipan. Transmit. Okay. That's Midlands, which is fine. We are still making some progress on our data upload, and it is now actually done. So we've got Midlands here. We should have ice canyons right up over here. Fragipan, ice canyons, both of those are done. More Fragipan, more Midlands, more ice canyons. That's all fine. More Midlands. Have we gotten everything? I think we've gotten everything. Let's go around once more, and then we'll consider going down once we're in the light, on the light side. So let's go ahead and keep warping up here. More Midlands. This all seems fine. That's ice canyons. That's Midlands. Babbage Patch. Hey, lowlands. I knew I was doing it for something. Okay, that's Midlands. We should be able to get our lowlands data back. Yep, and indeed we can. And let's consider just putting down right around over here, I think. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and put in a maneuver. And in this maneuver, we're just going to kill our horizontal speed. Like so. It's only about 500 meters per second. That's not too shabby. So we'll go ahead and execute that node. I may abort the node execution and start doing it manually on the way. But for right now, we should stow these solar panels. I'm not going to stow our antenna just yet, but I am going to make a quick save. Because I don't want to lose progress if I completely mess this up through the power of save games. Well, if I mess it up, I might just start over. I don't know. We don't need to be notified about these anymore. There we go. And let's go ahead and perform our burn. Physics warp the burn. Yeah, there we go. We are now coming in for a landing. Our landing is about 8 minutes away. Make that 7. Okay. Excellent. So I think at this point we should probably go ahead and abort the node execution soon. Well, maybe not quite yet. What's our horizontal speed currently? Terrain... Horizontal speed, there we go. We're still... we're almost up. We're going back up. We're going the other way now. Well, that's unfortunate. Abort that node execution. Go to surface velocity minus. Okay, what's our time to impact? 3 minutes? That's fine. So I want to go ahead and kill our horizontal speed. So to horizontal velocity minus. I don't care about vertical speed just yet. Just want to kill horizontal. So let's go ahead and do that. Our horizontal speed is 60 meters per second. Make that 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. Okay, I'm going to cut this and... Okay, it's essentially gone. It's all but gone. So I'm just going to go to surface velocity minus now. And our suicide burn countdown is 1.5 minutes. I'm going to run off of that to some degree. As usual, I'm going to burn a little early, just because I'm paranoid. Also, we've entered into suborbital spaceflight above Elu, and we are the first in the world to do that. Well, this world. Not, you know, the real world. But there we go. 1 minute to suicide burn. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and physics warp a bit here. I'm going to start my burn at about 10 seconds to suicide burn. Just because I'm paranoid. Okay. About 7 seconds. Burning now. Okay. We have plenty of Delta V in our nuclear engine here, so I'm not concerned at all about that. Suicide burn countdown, once it reaches 15 seconds, I'm going to cut, and then we'll go again at 10. But I just want to get our suicide burn Delta V sorted here. Yeah, it's going up faster and faster, as expected. Okay, I'm going to let it go down to 8 seconds this time. Actually 5. There we go. Excellent. So our horizontal speed is about 11 meters per second, which I didn't expect to have happen right now. That's a little bit odd. But we'll be able to sort that as we go down. Suicide burn countdown is almost back up to 7.5 seconds. Once it gets back up to 10, I will cut it until we go back down to 5. We still have so much burn time in this. It's ridiculous. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move these guys up here. We have some incorrect staging there. That's a little bit obnoxious. And I'm going to go ahead and cut our engines, and we fall for a few more seconds. And burn now. There we go. Still have about 128 meters per second to go here. We are about 30 seconds from impact. And once we've killed our velocity here, I'm going to go ahead and detach our nuclear engine. So, very, very soon now. We're about 60 meters per second vertically. Excellent. 80 more meters per second of DV for our suicide burn. But very, very shortly, I'm going to go ahead and detach, and we'll use our sky crane from there. Right about now, I think, is a good time to detach. So let's go. Excellent. Suicide burn countdown is now much, much higher, because our thrust to weight is kind of insane. So I'm going to go ahead and physics warp that down to about... actually, I'm not going to physics warp it at all. I'm just going to eyeball this. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we are going to burn right about now. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and let it drop, but continue going down until we reach about 1 meter per second is the goal. 5 meters per second. 4, 3, 2, just go to up, please. Okay. 2.7, we're accelerating. I don't want to be accelerating. I do want to be decelerating. Okay. That's 1 meter per second there. Can we hold this? Yes, indeed. We're still decelerating slightly. That's perfect, actually. Yep. Gorgeous. And off goes the sky crane. I'm getting downright good at this. It's almost like I've done that before. That was a gorgeous landing right there. So let's go ahead, and this could take a while. I'm going to quick save now that we're on the surface. Okay, goodbye nuclear engine. And we're not going to get much power here, there's no doubt about that. I knew that coming in though. We've landed on the surface of Elu. Goodbye, continuing all of that debris. Sky crane is still sailing off, and it's going to sail quite a long ways, realistically. But let's go ahead and run a temperature scan and transmit that. Fantastic. Atmospheric pressure scan, transmit that. And we're just going to go ahead and time warp this until these things get finished. Mystery goo observation, we are going to go ahead and run. Transmit that data. Yep, go ahead and break it. Excellent. Seismic scan, transmit. That might take a while. Still transmitting. There we go. And finally, the gravity scan. Transmit that. There we go. Okay, and we are continuing to transmit our gravity scan. Excellent. 100x, and it is done. Fantastic. Okay, well there is that done. That is our final lander. We have now landed on every body in the vanilla Kerbal system, or Kerbal system. However, we did not successfully crash into the sun, and we did successfully crash into Joule-ish. arguably successfully. But all that appears to be left now, assuming we don't have a contract back at the Space Center, is to have our asteroid base get into position, and we are a ways out from that in terms of timing still. I believe we're still 20 years away from that burn. So let's check here. What do we have? Adjusted orbits, specific orbits, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're not going to do any of that. Let's see our world first milestone here. We have escaped the gravitational influence of Elu. That must be the Sky Crane. The Sky Crane achieved escape velocity. Oh boy. That's exciting. Okay. So, how long on our asteroid base? Let's check in on that. Here's our asteroid base right now. Dual encounters in 25 years. However, it is 20 years yet until the actual maneuver. Now, it does bear noting that this maneuver is going to be super awkward, although it'll be less awkward than the last time we worked with our asteroid base, since the mass has been reduced substantially. However, we should probably be pointed at the node. It doesn't like pointing at things. That is for sure. What are we controlling from right now? I believe we should be controlling from this here. So, like, from this grabbing unit, I believe is where we're supposed to be controlling from. Come on. There we go. Control from here. Excellent. Okay, so we are slowly turning into position. And it looks like we're having significantly less waggling issues now that we've converted a huge proportion of this into fuel. All of these rockets here have full fuel and can be used to push this, eventually. We'll have to rotate it and such. But we are still 20 years out. We do only need 87.7 meters per second, which is nice. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be that hard. Once we get there, we'll need to do some braking, and that'll be about 5 years to get there. So yeah, overall, this is going to be interesting. Now, we can't transfer fuel from here to here. So our primary pusher here, this guy, he is going to run out of fuel eventually, probably. But we'll get it to dual orbit, and once we get there, we'll have to do a bit of a braking burn, and we'll see how much delta V it actually takes to get this thing where we want it to go. We'll see if we have enough. Right now we only have 496 delta V, well, in the stage delta V. The total delta V is about 1100, somewhere around in there. It's a bit confused because engines are pointing different directions and such. But yeah, overall, I think that's going to be fine. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here. It is about that time. And in the meantime, I will set up a warp to be about... Well, that's exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a warp to here, and we'll be a little bit before this maneuver when we come back. And we'll just see about moving this asteroid base into its correct orbit. If we've got the Delta V, great. If we don't have the Delta V, I may have to send another mission to the asteroid just to refuel and such. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. However, that's all something for next time, and I will see you all then.